Let's go watch it in 2D. No, let's go watch it in 3D. But if we watch it in 3D, then is it worth the cost?
Is he dead or what?
And a whole lot of guts.
Is everyone alright? Nobody got bitten?
I bit. I hung. Did that count?
This summer, you don't become a hero
Norman? This is so Norman.
by being normal.
There's nothing wrong with being scared, Norman. As long as you don't let it change who you are.
Paranorman.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Adolf, and I have with me Jacob.
Hi, everybody.
And today you are reviewing Paranorman. How did you like Paranorman, the new 2025 edition?
I really enjoyed it.
How'd you like the 3D aspect?
I also really enjoyed it.
So, we released this year with quote-unquote revised 3D visuals. And, well, there's a new short attached to this. We'll talk about that short very briefly. In the 2D only section, because it did not come out in 3D for us at all, which is very disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us watched this movie, and so since the Thriftening is not a 3D movie, we won't talk about it here. Now this is supposed to be the was it not revised, but the remastered or whatever 3D. And how was it for you?
It was okay. It wasn't amazing. It was just merely okay.
Yeah, it was fine. It's kind of one of those things where if you're a big 3D fan, you're like, okay, I like it. But if you're not, you're like, probably wasn't worth it. It's not awful by any means. It's not a bad 3D conversion. It's just nothing really to it.
They didn't do much with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some scenes. We'll mention some scenes here and there. The beginning, there's like a zombie kind of thing that it's like a movie within the movie, and that was kind of really fun in 3D.
Yeah. Probably the best part.
Sadly.
Yeah.
There was like a scene where some like bugs flew out of like a cabinet or like a doorway, and they were really popping out.
That was about it.
Yeah, there's like one more little scene with like another zombie. Like their mouth was popping out of the screen when they broke through the door or something.
Yeah, that was pretty decent. Then that was about it. They didn't do much.
The 3D is there, but it's not really impactful. Not really. Oh, I gotta see this in 3D.
Yeah.
And considering this is the quote unquote restored edition, I can't imagine how worse the non-restored edition is.
I had looked it up, and apparently it was pretty popular, at least on like Blu-ray 3D, but I don't know how it was in theaters back then because I didn't see it until it got on DVD.
So, I guess what's the score you gave it for the 3D?
6.
Yeah, there's a couple scenes push it over from like a 5 because it's very few and far between, but there's some good aspects. It's not bad. You're not going to hurt your eyes watching it, but you probably are not going
Right.
to. I would not have gone out of my way to see this if I would have. If time worked out where you did it, you had a chance to see this movie early, and you gave me the review early, I would not have rewatched it in theaters because it's not terrible. It's just not ideal, and it's hard to justify paying to go see this in the theaters. Kind of thing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if I saw it on like a regular 2D thing, I think it would have been, if not better, it would have been like the same. Just like it's an enjoyable looking movie.
let's get to the movie itself. Before we get to the movie, actually, let's get to the Thrifting, which is the new short that came before the movie, which actually is set after the movie. But it's not like a big deal. If you haven't watched the movie before the short, you'll still be okay. Obviously, there's some jokes in there that you may not get the references to if you don't. Whatever. I assume you're gonna watch that. So this is a very quick short. It's like 7 minutes long. I didn't time it.
Yeah, about that.
And basically, Norman is going to a thrift store with his sister and his best friend, and the thrift store is haunted.
Yep, that's it.
And that is essentially the entirety of it, and adventures, shenanigans happen and such, as you can imagine with ghosts. And it's fun. It's interesting to watch this literally before rewatching the old movie, because these two actually have different art styles.
Yeah, like different animation styles, because the main movie is stop motion. This was just CGI animated, and they kind of retained a good bit of the art style to it.
But it is really interesting, though, being able to see the difference. This is how it looked like with modern CGI, and this is now, this is the original stop motion, and it's like, okay. Kind of seeing that, it looks similar, but it's really jarring too to kind of go back.
Yeah,
and it's like, what would you give the Thrifting?
I mean, it was enjoyable. I'd say like a 7. Just it wasn't anything amazing. It was slight. It was fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's a fun little ride. It's enjoyable. If they want to keep this CG, it's fine. I still prefer the stop motion, but I understand. It costs probably a lot more and takes a lot more time. I know that right now they're like breaking through and finding a way to have like combined kind of thing, where they kind of use the stop motion as like reference points, and then the CG can like animate after that. And I've seen some stuff that looks kind of cool. I think that might be a good way to kind of combine them, but not be as laborious as stop motion is.
But I mean, stop motion is it's an art in and of itself, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, and it definitely is a lot more detailed.
Yeah.
And for purposes of us, you could convert stop motion in 3D much easier, or technically even film it and stop in 3D, because they are 3D figures.
Yeah, they're 3D figures, and then the camera rig that you use, you could just take 2 shots at once from different vantages and create a 3D effect.
Mm-hmm. So, that could be something that's really easy to do, and comparatively speaking to doing it CG and it actually showing the depth and everything, and because you have to make the sets too. It's not like you just make the things; you have to do everything. So. Yeah. All right, let's get to Paranorman itself. So this is an oldie but a goodie, and if anything, rewatching this in 2025, I was kind of surprised how fresh it felt, and like it completely didn't feel like it was a movie from almost 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was just it was like it almost felt timeless, even though there's a couple uses of technology that kind of took it back a little bit, but it wasn't in your face. It was just like,
The sister is using an iPhone of some sorts, which was still relatively not exactly the same like you would be using now, but it's still. And then she references YouTube, which of course now in 2012 YouTube was not as big deal like it is now, but it definitely was like getting traction. So it definitely feels fresh in those regards. And Paranorman has Norman has a phone, but it's like a flip phone, or not even a flip phone. It's like a Nokia or something, right?
I think it was a flip phone, if I'm not mistaken, but okay. I could have been wrong.
But sometimes kids nowadays, they may have a crappy phone to begin with, and just to have for emergencies, and when they get older they could get a actual smartphone, because that way it's just cheaper for the parents. So it does not completely, it makes sense, and the world that this is set in is not connected online 24/7. That's one thing that's different. Well, they have to call a friend to Google something.
Right.
But overall, it's actually a really timeless story, where Paranorman is a child that could see ghosts, and there's no explanation. That's just something he has.
Yeah.
He's not creeped out by it or scared by it, and the ghosts are kind of how they were when they died, and they kind of stuck that way, which is kind of like sad too, that if you have like a horrible injury, you're just stuck that way forever,
Yeah.
I know that's like a trope nowadays, or a bunch of different movies have had that, like Beetlejuice, and what other ones have had that trope? But still,
I feel like the Frighteners had something like that too.
Oh, Sixth Sense, of course.
Sixth Sense, yeah.
Which is these are similar movies in a sense, but I think this is more in the sense that there's a child character that can see ghosts, I guess.
Right.
This actually came out after The Sixth Sense too, so maybe there's some inspirations from there.
Probably.
And there's like a ceremony that they have to do each year because the town is cursed, and Norman is now given the responsibility to do this ceremony, and it doesn't work. And now the dead have risen up, and they're attacking the city. And how do you fix it? And that's kind of the entirety of the movie, really summed up.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's well cast, likable characters, a really enjoyable dialogue. I really enjoyed this. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, compared to Coraline, Leica's first film, it's not as good, but it's still a really enjoyable film that stands on its own.
Yeah, I mean, it's on its own merits. Not comparing it to Coraline. I still really enjoyed it. It's still a creepy, well-made kids movie, and it's still a kids movie. It's not, directly. It's just animated. It's aimed for younger audiences, but it's in a way that is like still universal, where it's not like, oh, this is like, super kiddie stuff, but you can tell that it's made not for, adults, I guess.
Right.
And the characters are all fun and likable and interesting. John Goodman really hits out of the park in this one.
What little screen time he has.
So, what was your final score for the movie itself?
I believe I gave it an 8, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. So, yeah, I agree with that. I think I originally was maybe thinking a 9, but I think over time, my brain is like, maybe probably an 8 would probably be a good fitting. So I think I agree with you at both ends on that way, because it's a great movie. It has some heart to it, and it's enjoyable, rewatchable. I'm not sure how much I'll gain rewatching this multiple times. This is like the second time I watched this movie, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah,
both times. So it's definitely a very enjoyable movie, and definitely worth your time. And it's fun. It's a classic, and in the best sense of the way. And yeah, that's kind of it for us. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Before this podcast wraps up, I want to thank my super VIP patrons from Patreon. Thank you, MK Ultra, Alex Folk, Gravity Head Zero, and Twitter 3D Movies Community. So I got one quick thing to talk about. We have a merch store. Woohoo! We got t-shirts, we got tote bags, we got magnets, we got stickers, we got a little bit of everything. Woohoo! At this merch store, 3dr2d.com/store, you'll find many original designs and affordable prices. That website again is 3dr2d.com/store. Woohoo! You can find 3D or 2D on Facebook, X, Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube, and more. Just look for 3D or 2D. Thank you for either watching or listening to this podcast. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.